Hi, amazing people. Welcome to Beyond Technology, a place for understanding tech and creating exciting narratives around it. If this is your first time, please like, share, and subscribe, and tune in for more awesome content.
Thank you for coming back. My name is Sandra, and joined with me today is Michael Nyamande. Michael is a friend and a colleague, and today we're going to be talking about an exciting topic: 5G in Zimbabwe. Everything, the benefits, everything that is going to come in. So if something that you want to watch, stay tuned.
The big thing that 5G is really going to impact is the metaverse.
Yeah.
So we've seen Mark Zuckerberg literally just rename the whole Facebook group, right? And just name it Meta.
Yeah.
It just symbolizes shift towards the metaverse. And we've seen him investing heavily around VR and other experiences.
Yeah.
So what do you think that how 5G really affect that virtual experience?
Okay, with VR, I'm seeing a lot of change and shift in the way we do and operate things on a day-to-day basis. So for example, we can actually have a live concert. Imagine I'm a DJ. I can just connect on my virtual space and have...
In the metaverse?
In the metaverse, okay. In the metaverse, I can just have a virtual concert, and everyone else, wherever you are, you can attend to my show. So imagine I have to attend a Rihanna show now because I couldn't afford, and I wouldn't even go to, I don't know, wherever she will be touring.
So I can finally attend that Amapiano concert featuring Maprisa while I'm here without paying for a plane ticket.
No plane ticket. You just pay for the fees.
And then I see be happy.
And then also working from home. At work, you can actually hold your conferences. There's working from home where you're connected on Teams and Zoom meetings, but you're still doing your work. But then in a collaborative team. So say I'm in IT, right, and I'm having a customer or a client in Tokyo or in New York. You know, I can actually have my conference or a meeting with a person in Japan. And I can even say it in Shona, Mangwanani Akanaka, and you know.
And it's translating for you in real time.
In real time. I don't need to have a translator to translate whatever that I'm saying.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
less flights, and I'm sure, like, since we're recently affected by COVID, people really don't want to travel as much. So
definitely.
With this in relation to the metaverse, it means we are more connected.
Yeah. But
in a digital sense, rather than having to physically fly and like pay billions of dollars.
Definitely. The only problem that this metaverse doesn't give is the whole simulation of flying, because there's something therapeutic about flying. They're cutting it off, obviously because of COVID.
But wait, you can also have your VR experience. Like, for example, myself, right? I've never been on a plane, but I am still have a VR experience of flying.
But it's not the same. And I think in the aspect of Zimbabwe, like, let's go back to the voting thing. If we could have this in the rally space, where if a councillor is saying we are going to fix roads and do this, we actually go into his space and understand exactly how the city is going to be transformed.
So if we actually have, like, I saw what they did for the new Mbudzi roundabout, where 3D illustrations.
Yes.
But what if you actually have like that in VR, where you actually put on your headsets and you're going around exploring that new flyover?
Definitely, because we hear you, but we don't see it. So we want to know exactly what happens. Coming back to the new e-passport situation, a lot of people still go and queue up for an e-passport and they don't know. Imagine if we had that space where it simulates exactly what's going to happen, so that when people get there, there are less people who are saying...
What if you actually do the whole application process in the metaverse?
Exactly.
You just have physical offices for the registry department in the metaverse. Then I just put on my goggles and all that. I fill out the forms in the metaverse. They assist me, so I don't even need to go there.
That's another thing, because waiting at 2 a.m. to come up with a digital passport whilst you're still doing it manually, it's good, but then I think we can do better with 5G.
I think just rolling back to those bodysuits, right? Obviously that's future tech, but something that's happening now, right? Meta, the Facebook, the Facebook company, right? Recently introduced, or they're gonna introduce these haptic gloves, right?
Yeah.
So they've invested so much into that, and basically with these new gloves, you can actually feel things in the metaverse. So, for example, you go to your concert or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And when you actually touch a disc, because those gloves are connected to the metaverse, you actually feel what it was like to touch the discs, right? So obviously, like there's so many applications that prop up from this. Imagine for education, right?
Yeah.
So for, let's say, the new surgeons.
Yeah.
So normally what happens is you need to practice on a cadaver. You have to wait for someone to die and donate their body.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
But with the metaverse, you actually just do a 3D model of the body.
Exactly.
Then with these new haptic gloves, you actually go into the metaverse and you practice surgery.
So imagine our Pari-Renyatwa Medical School having virtual 3D bodies and doing different type of heart surgery, eye surgery, tooth surgery.
And people always complaining, right? We have so few surgeons in Zim, so few specialists, right? But with the metaverse and really just that educational environment, which is not limited by physical space, right? So no more waiting to actually procure expensive equipment and whatnot, right?
Yes.
You just virtually create them in the metaverse. Then people can actually train on them. Then later on, just buy those things, right? So no buying one set for Pari, one set for using medical schools to actually practice on.
Yeah.
Just buy the set for Pari, buy the set for the actual hospitals. Then for the training part, you actually just put that in the metaverse. Yes,
and I also think in Zimbabwe, we have one of the 7 wonders of the world. So if we can have our Victoria Falls in the metaverse, I know it will have a lot of people want to see, because people see what it is like, but if you can literally feel the water, the showers, everything, and then probably in the meta you're paying lesser fees than the whole flying thing.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I remember a few years back, Minister of Tourism, right? They were doing these, was I attending ZITF, I think 2018? They were doing these sort of tours for Victoria Falls and other areas.
Okay.
But it was the experience was a bit lagging. So obviously the introduction
4G network.
Exactly.
Yes.
So now with the introduction of 5G, now you can actually have real-time experience, right?
Definitely.
So even things like the Victoria Falls Carnival, you know, even if a portion of it happening physically, then I can also attend. You have a lesser price ticket for people like me who want to attend in the metaverse.
Powered by 5G.
Yeah.
And then when you come back to the ZITF, there's going to be the ZITF in the next few weeks. There's going to be Zimbabwe Agriculture Show in the next few months, and a lot of other expos that probably will be happening. So if a person can really experience, because the whole idea of spending or having to sit down, trying to acquire knowledge, and then try to see it. If I can, it's now seeing is believing, rather than a person just
definitely
kind of tell
there's this quote, right? And it basically says you're a result of your experiences, right? So a lot of people, those they for I don't know, more educated or richer people, they get access to way more experiences. You can easily just fly and see the Eiffel Tower. And if someone is artistic, they can be inspired by that, right?
Yeah.
But with 5G now and more interconnected things in the metaverse, experiences are now open to everyone, right? You can literally experience what it's like to fly a plane. Just go into the metaverse, get a airplane simulator, just be seeing all the controls there.
Yeah.
So it's better for training. Like I said, you're surgeon, you just be opening up bodies.
Yeah.
And you're no longer worried that what if I fail, if I don't cut this properly? Because you have so many unlimited tries. It's just a simulation.
Yes, definitely.
And something
you don't have to wait for another corpse to come in.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know in Zimbabwe it's really taboo to donate your body.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they always say when you donate your body, the spirit doesn't rest and whatnot. Yeah, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe another interesting thing is we actually have a local startup that's utilizing this currently.
Okay.
There's a startup called Sciency Learning.
Okay. In Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe, no, yeah.
And it's utilizing for which age group and
It's
which level of
utilizing
education?
It's utilizing VR.
Okay.
Aimed at kids O level, A level. So you saw your
Nice.
IGCSE and your A level.
Okay.
And it's really aimed at how can you actually improve science learning.
Okay. So you can know the shape of the heart
Exactly.
and the arteries and the
So now kids can just download an app, right? I'm sure you can link the app somewhere, yeah?
Okay.
They can just download the app and learn about they can learn about biology, chemistry, physics. You can actually just have VR or augmented reality simulation, right, of probably velocity and how it works, play around with different variables, see the heart, see the arteries, the ventricles, and all that things that they just used to traumatize us as kids.
And I think going back, this is becoming more technical and more on the education side. But going back to other people, like the general space, I know most people shop their cars in Japan, and you see a new model.
The new BMW is just out.
Exactly, it's out, and then you don't know how it feels. Is it you? And then you just end up just buying because of the price. Sometimes I feel like if we could have, I know they have a lot of B Forward and STBs shop nationwide. If they can have that
VR experience.
Exactly, like if I want a BM X1, I'm in there. If I want a Ford Kuga, I'm in there. I kind of feel like, is this me? Rather than just buying because a person says, it's good. And then it starts giving you problems. So yeah, I think that can also work. And on the female side, if you can have your whole makeup experience for different products, because I know we don't locally have, we do, but we don't locally have our own foundations that we use, products that we use, because they are manufactured elsewhere, and then it might actually affect our skins, have affect the whatever. So you can have a metaverse with the makeup, the look and see.
I feel like we're already getting scammed too much by those who put on makeup. If you allow them to also put on makeup in the metaverse, it's gonna be trouble.
It's better than paying for things that will not look good on you.
You will see someone enhancing themselves in the metaverse, actually look like a yellow bone, then you meet them on the streets.
Yeah. It's like TikTok, they have this filter where you just put lines. Okay. You contour yourself and then you end up looking slim. So yeah, you have to look however you want to look, makeup or no makeup.
Interesting.
And 5G will help you get there.
Maybe also give myself a six-pack in the metaverse.
Yeah, just control your abs. Okay, with the introduction of 5G, obviously businesses needs to be ready for this shift. So you're going to see a lot of shifting from the normal traditional ways of saving data or collecting data to the cloud, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and then a lot of virtualization for better customer services and to have customized products that they'll be selling rather than, being driven a business from someone's like or hobby that they want to showcase, but then just to come up with customized customer products. Then there's going to be AR and VR that will unlock several opportunities like we discussed earlier. Then there's also a detection of unusual activities to indicate opportunities as well as threats that would allow businesses to make better decisions.
So more improved analytics for business.
Yes, more improved analytics for businesses.
This is quite interesting. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe just before we wrap up, we can just look at some sectors that will probably benefit from the introduction of 5G and sectors that might not really benefit. Yeah.
Okay. So which sectors do you think would benefit more?
So obviously I talked about autonomous vehicles. that's obviously gonna see a huge boom because as we have faster, better connectivity, we're gonna see more driverless cars.
So the transport business.
The transport sector is gonna benefit.
Okay.
Again, the healthcare sector is gonna benefit. We might actually see real telemedicine being introduced where I can consult with a doctor, maybe in India or somewhere else while I'm here. And they can actually, because of IoT, they can actually just read all my vitals and see them in real time.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's good. That's a good one.
And obviously, IoT, Internet of Things. So from your smart home to your connected devices, there's really going to be a big shift.
Okay.
So I think all sectors that rely on like smart devices, whether it's your agriculture, your manufacturing, your security, they're going to see a huge boost.
Obviously, the banking sector.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in Zimbabwe, we really started seeing that shift towards internet banking.
Yeah, which came with the 4G. There's now the USSD banking, chatbot banking, internet banking, POS platforms. So I think with 5G, the banking sector
it's only going to improve. Huh?
Yeah.
It's only going to get better.
And what you also spoke about in length, the e-commerce, the retail part.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually looking to like just try and pursue e-commerce, and because I see a lot of money that if you see in America, your Shopify's and other e-commerce stores, like they're really getting a lot of funding.
Definitely.
So definitely, yeah. And also education. Education is really gonna be revolutionized because now instead of paying for expensive equipment and whatnot, you can actually just use AR and VR to really just make education cheaper and more accessible to people.
Okay, and also travel and tourism.
Oh yes, now I can go to Zanzibar. I can virtually go to Zanzibar.
Yes, definitely. Fun. In as much as you're seeing a huge impact on the business side, there are going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be affected with the introduction of 5G. I mean, some businesses have to evolve, right? And then some will die on the way. So I don't know, which businesses do you think are going to be affected with the introduction of 5G? Okay.
So I'm a big fan of work from home. I've been working from home for the last 2 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and what I really think is real estate is going to be affected.
Yeah.
Because they're used to businesses buying up places in the CBD or around. And now with people working from home, businesses are not really going to want to pay for extra space when their people can work virtually.
Yeah. So a lot of people are going to be working from home, and there's going to be decentralization of office spaces. Yeah. But except in Zimbabwe, except for remittance services, because people have their US dollars.
People need to go, yeah. And really, there's this shift, maybe not in Zimbabwe yet, but people actually buying land in the metaverse, right? So people actually buying virtual land, and virtual land doesn't run out. It goes on and on and on and on and on, right?
Nice.
So like, why would you buy like office space physically when you can just buy virtual office space?
I mean, when you have assets, do you then claim that you have assets in the virtual world?
I think that's something that legislation is gonna really need to catch up with.
Yeah, definitely. And I also see a shift in the music and event industry. Like if people used to have, shows, and they're like physical shows. I know Davido had a huge concert at the O2. So imagine 5 years from now, Davido can just do a concert in his bedroom and everyone else will be there. So the promoters, the dancers, and everyone else who physically benefited there would not. Yeah.
I think there's still need for the promoters, but maybe people for the stage equipment and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're gonna be replaced by probably a person like Mike who can actually code up that scene in physical, the lighting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then now there are holograms, so even if he's not physically in Zoom, he can just be in a Zoom show and a Zoom wedding. Imagine having Whitney Houston at your wedding as a hologram. That
would be exciting.
Yeah.
And then, like, the interesting bit, right, with like this whole metaverse thing going on, right, is they are no longer limited by a physical space, right? So in as much as you probably the O2 stadium, right, could only handle 10,000 people, right?
Yeah.
Now you can perform to millions of people wherever they are.
Yeah, definitely.
In real time.
Definitely.
In the metaverse.
Definitely. And I also see that there's going to be a lot of on-demand gig jobs. So people who are getting paid a basic salary and have to wait for a paycheck, it's going to be phased out, because if I know how to do a data entry or a data, like anything data related,
This is the rise of the gig economy.
Yeah, it's the rise of the gig economy. So your Upworks,
your freelancer, your Fiverr.
Yeah, they're going to be on the rise because of this. Because I might need a person to set up a virtual DJ space. I don't need to, go to a person who has that thing. And
you actually see in the States right now, they're experiencing, they're calling it the Great Resignation, where people were asked to come back to the office and just quitting their jobs.
Definitely.
Because they're like, no, we can do these gigs. So if I'm a coder, right, instead of waiting for this big organization which asks me to come into the office, I can simply just do jobs every once in a while, right? So if I can take up 10 jobs at a time and get paid each job, right, it doesn't matter. And I'm working remotely for each of these jobs. So it's more money to me, but more value to the businesses actually utilizing the remote workers.
And I think the HR department or the HR industry, right, the human resource industry, they have to really upskill to try to understand who exactly can work with us, because an engineer can still do a plumbing job in the 5G economy. So thank you so much for watching. Let us know if we've missed out a lot of stuff. If you see what we see with the whole introduction of the 5G network, comment down below. We are happy to hear your ideas, what you think, if you think we've missed out, anything that you think is useful. Over to you.
Before we go, one very important question.
Okay.
Yeah, does 5G cause COVID?
I can imagine the data analysts at Google when they found that millions of people.
Everyone was thinking that COVID-19 caused by 5G.
No, absolutely no. There's no medical.
Are you sure though?
I'm not sure, but I don't think so. Do you think it?
I'm not sure either, because all I know is we have COVID in Zimbabwe, but we didn't have 5G. So
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
But if you start seeing COVID cases in Avondale where there's no 5G, then we know. Huh?
Yeah, but no, 5G doesn't cause COVID. Does it cause hair loss? The radiation might, but not really. I mean, whatever. We'll get used to it. We'll get used to the 5G.
We'll adapt.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Thank you guys. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.